Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Good morning. A very warm welcome on this beautiful morning. My name is Fatima Ajmal and welcome you all for today's webinar on managing business in pandemic. First of all, I thank you all for taking out time for today's webinar. The world is full of diamonds and gems, and we are having some of them here today. To build the event with this note, I would like to thank my heartiest welcome to our speaker and our audience. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce you to our speaker, Brother Talha Sareshwala, who has done his education in business of science in physics and graduated in CA. He runs a company called Parsoli Groups and is actively involved in IT, education, financial services, and automobiles. He is also a group of director at Parsoli. Now he is a social entrepreneur, currently mentoring a few startups in the field of IT, automobile, and luxury retails in association with CIIE Center of Innovation and Incubation and Entrepreneur at IIMA. He is also a trustee of Farooq Azam School, Juhapur, Ahmedabad, and a trustee of YMS Foundation, which manages all girls' school for poor and unprivileged Shama School in Shahapur area of Ahmedabad. At IICCB, he holds a position of managing committee as a member head Gujarat chapter. Now, I would like Brother Talha Sareshwala to highlight this topic and hand with the session over to Talha Sareshwala.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and my fellow IICBN members. It's my honor and privilege to be part of this very important topic about understanding MSME in the current pandemic situation. So first and foremost, we need to understand what actually MSME stands for. It's micro, small, medium enterprise. And recently, Government of India has redefined MSMEs in terms of its level of investment and turnover so that more and more companies can avail maximum benefit of government subsidies and SOPs. So what I will do is I will present basically the overview of MSME. What are the major industries under MSME? A snapshot of MSME, challenges faced by MSME, and most important, the Muslim community in MSME and its shortcomings. And last, what IICCB, the Indian Islamic Chamber of Commerce and Bureau, can play an important role for MSMEs. Next slide, please. So basically, this is the classification recently announced, and we have to see where actually we are placed as a Muslim business entrepreneur. Looking to the classification, we Muslims can take a lot of benefits from government schemes, which are not always interest-based as we feel. They are not actually fund-based. But there are schemes in the form of subsidies and tax holidays. Inshallah, we at IICCB will create definitely a government window and such knowledge and information sharing for our members, as we need to be very well informed of such advantages. I'll give you a recent example. Every state has got its own MSME policies, which state government or the central government as and when come up with different schemes. I think today there was a scheme for the real estate, because real estate is a part of MSME. There is a scheme recently floated by government of Gujarat where you only put in 10% of your capital, rest 90%, 80 to 90% is being funded or in the form of subsidies, in the form of tax holidays by government of Gujarat or respective governments, wherever these MSMEs schemes are being put on. So we need to understand and see micro, where basically we all Muslim profiles, whatever I have seen in my career, we belong to basically micro and small, micro and small enterprises. So the level of investment has gone down. It's only 1 crore, annual turnover of 5 crores. So lot many Muslims entrepreneur, lot of many Muslim enterprises can be termed as micro enterprises. Same, and then small enterprise with the level of investment of 10 crores and turnover of 50 crores, and then medium level of investment which comes to 50 crores and annual turnover comes to 250 crores. Next slide, please. So this basically, this slide I'm putting, it's just for the knowledge and understanding, as to understand which are the major industries currently in MSMEs. And we Muslim community cater to almost all major industries, and we are part of India's growth story. So agricultural product, food processing, chemical and dye stuff, pharmaceutical, medical equipment, electronics and electricals, textiles, meat products, plastics, so you name it, and it is part of the MSMEs. So why not we be part of this India's growth story? As it is, we are very well in the category of micro and small enterprises. Next slide, please. See, this is basically to get the overview of what the MSME in India is. So total registered MSMEs is 51 million. It's not a small figure. And this slide, what is the contribution of MSMEs in India's growth story? And very important to note that we Muslims, unfortunately, are very poor in taking the advantages of these government schemes because we don't get ourselves registered. So we need to understand, are we a part of MSMEs? Are we part of this 51 million? So generally the answer comes to no, because these are all optional registration. We do get ourselves registered for sales tax, income tax, and lot many other registration which are compulsory, but there are quite a few registration which we need to register ourselves to take the maximum benefits of the government schemes which are being floated. If you are registered as MSMEs, or if you are not registered as MSMEs, you are mehroom. हम mehroom हो जाते हैं from getting advantages of this government schemes. So just see, what is the manufacturing output total? It's 45%, which is not a small sum. Contribution to exports, it's 50%. And total industrial enterprises, means only the MSME, content of MSME in the entire industrial enterprises, 80% are MSMEs. And what is their contribution to GDP? It's 20%. So this is not a small figure. And we need to be part of this growth story. Why? Because MSME is the growth engine across the world. In India, any big company you take, they have the structure is based on their own in-house MSMEs. All big industries. I'm talking about big industries, means Reliance, Tata's, Adani's, all these big industries depend on its survival on MSMEs. So MSME is basically the growth engine of India's growth story also. And these MSMEs have definitely made India to become one of the fastest growing economy. So we brothers, we need to understand, we need to take a call whether we are registered as MSMEs or not. If not, I think the first thing we should do is get ourselves registered as MSMEs and take the maximum benefit of the government schemes. Now I will come, next slide please. So basic, because we have understood what MSME is. Now what are the challenges faced by MSMEs? These are really the which creates a roadblock for the enterprise to grow. The first thing which comes in my mind is definitely a liquidity. It is the first and foremost challenge we as MSMEs are facing. Mind well, it is very important to conserve cash. And how to conserve cash? That's the key. And that is where we need to put our heads together and understand what is our cash flow, whether it is positive or negative. So, how to conserve our cash in an MSME? We need to negotiate. The first thing is we need to negotiate with our creditors for an extended credit periods. See, this does not mean that we are bad paymasters. This is a strategy which we need to कि भाई आज हम 30 दिन के अंदर हमारे सप्लायर्स को हम पेमेंट करते हैं तो fine, it's good. He's your regular supplier. You need to understand because of this pandemic situation, because of these unforeseen circumstances, you also need as an enterprise to conserve cash. So why not we talk, we negotiate with our creditors to extend. भाई 30 दिन के बजाय भाई 60 दिन कर दिए, 90 दिन कर दिए. You are going to carry on the business with your supplier. So that problem with the supplier is diminished because you are definitely a good paymaster, but you also need to conserve cash. Look at Reliance. Look at the big companies where you yourself might be supplying your goods or your products to any of the big companies. What is their payment conditions? I don't think not more than max 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Reliance pays at the end of 9 months. So this is how they conserve their cash. Again, I'll repeat, this does not mean that we become a bad paymasters. Second, when you purchase, you need to get more discount. What is your purchase strategy? How good you are at purchase? We need, and third point, we need to be very, very strong on receivables and improve our collection process, which is a basic stigma in our life. We definitely, when the good companies feel we are good paymaster, but when it comes to take their payments, they are a little bit lethargic. So we need to be very strong on our receivables. Most important, try to explore for alternates. Never store all eggs in one basket. So cash conservation is critical and a key to success. And positive working capital, as I said earlier, generally indicates the health of an enterprise. So we need to be very strong on our liquidity. And if there is a liquidity crisis in your organization, your entire growth engine will stop. Second is yes, marketing and sales. We consider sales as marketing and we consider marketing as sales. But mind well, both are different, both are interrelated. But marketing, you need to be, if you're strong on marketing, your sales will increase. So marketing and sales go hand in hand with each other. So in this current situation, what we need to do to improve our marketing and sales is support your existing customers. See, everybody has got fixed customers. We go for the new customers and we forget our old customers. Support your existing customers, their immediate needs in terms of your pricing and products, and reprioritize their needs, because you need to catch hold of, to be strong with your existing customers, interact with your existing customers on a regular basis. Second, this was on the part of sales, which we have existing sales, existing customers. Now coming to marketing, we need to shift. See, marketing is very important. We need to showcase our product. How? In this current situation, the best and safe and secure way and the chief form of communication and marketing is digital marketing. Look at the alternate of digital marketing. It is very cheap, very secure, and it gives more reach to your products than your any of your other marketing tools which you might be taking up in your recent life. Third point, in marketing, I would suggest scan the competitive. We forget about our competition at all. Scan your competitive landscape, and from that landscape, definitely you will spot the opportunities. And once you spot the opportunities, it is in our hands to grab it with both the hands. So don't underestimate the competition. Don't underestimate and don't be afraid of competition, because sometimes competition will derive a more opportunities for you. And again, in marketing and sales, I would suggest explore value additions to products. What sort of value addition? For example, the first thing comes in my mind is the accreditation. Why not certify our products like ISO 9000, ISO 14000? There are a lot many accreditation in food industry. There is the accreditation of FSSAI. In automobile, there are a lot of many. So get your enterprise, get your products accredited by a government approved organizations, which will definitely enhance your product. You'll enhance your sales opportunities. Try to create alliances of new inputs in your products. Third point, which the challenge and which I think is the most important challenge which we are facing currently, is the labor and manpower. You need to align. You need to align with your team to for an organizational goal. Without aligning and without taking your team into confidence, you are not going to achieve anything. Regular interaction with your team members and arranging their training needs. That's the key for a very successful organization. You need to invest more and more in your manpower. Share your business updates. This is the basic flaw among our Muslim community. We don't share. We consider this as our business secrets. But mind well, see, if you don't share your things, your businesses with your manpower, with your human resources, how are they going to perform? So share business updates to employees, and constant communication has to be kept with the employees. Don't underestimate your employees. They are your real investment. They are your real resources, and they are your main Friday key for your success. Organize events with your employees. Bonding between employees and employers is also equally important, and that could only happen if you have some sort of an event carrying on within your organization, so that your team, your employees also get motivated, and they can be like they can be part. They'll feel okay, we are part of an organization. Self of ownership will be built in within your employees, and that is the key, and that which we are surely lacking among ourselves. So we need to consider our employees as our own members, as our own members of the family, so that they are motivated. Once they are motivated, they'll definitely boost your production and boost the growth of your company. So raw material, yeah, it's one of the major challenge, but it depends, purely depends on how you consider, how you manage your stock in and stock out. So these are the basically the challenges which are being faced by the MSMEs. Now I would go to the next point, which again is very most important for me, which we almost all the MSMEs, in particular we the Muslims, I would consider our shortcomings in our business setup. We are in a setup of a traditional business where either by succession or by inheritance, you get into your own father's, your own family businesses. Sometimes it is third generation, fourth generation in the lineage you get the business. So whatever was going on, जो ऊपर से चला आता था, हम उसी को लेकर आगे चलते हैं. We don't think that times have changed. My grandfather, my father, when he had started his business, the times were different, the technology was different, and now the times have changed. So we need to change as per the time, which we surely lack. हम ये समझते हैं कि हमारे बाप दादा जैसे चला करते थे, हमको ऐसे ही चलना है, हमारा गुजारा चली जाता है, but you stop your growth. So technology and maintaining competitiveness is the biggest challenge which we as the Muslim enterprises face today. The unprofessional approach towards running a business. See, we run a business in a most unprofessional, unethical ways, I would say. And more often, it's like a bureaucratic approach. The bureaucratic approach which we have towards our own human resources, our own employees. We do not generally see, whatever I'm speaking, this is my experience over past 29, 30 years, where I have seen in my early days of when I was doing tax audit, when I was doing my chartered accountancy, I generally found that we Muslim enterprises do not match the wages as per industry norms. So what happens when you do not match? जो बेचारा आता है वो अपनी मजबूरी से आता है, और हम उसको अगर इंडस्ट्री नॉर्म्स के एतबार से we do not give him the wages, then there is a job security at stake for the employees and also for an employer. Because we do not match wages, our enterprise becomes a training ground. What will happen if you do not give the wages as per the industry standard? वो उसकी मजबूरी से वो तुम्हारे वहां है. The moment he gets an opportunity, he will leave your place. He will leave for another good opportunity. Your loss, you have invested in him in terms of training, in terms of the behavior, the approach. So the man hours, so there are a lot many investment which you do, but that goes all down the drain because he leaves you after a year, 1.5 years, and you bring the new employee, again you train him, again you put a lot of your dedication and work. So your organization becomes a training ground, and the attrition level in your organization is very, very high. Hence, we lack skilled labor and competent manpower because we are not treating them, we are not paying the wages as per the industry norms. We run the enterprise in the most bureaucratic manner. How? In an organization, we generally become jack of all trade and master of none by handling all day-to-day basic administrative hassle of organization. We are बैंक में हम ही जाते हैं, बैंक रिकंसिलेशन हम करते हैं, कैश पर हम बैठते हैं, सैलरी रोल कॉल हम करते हैं, पे रजिस्टर हम बनाते हैं, सेल्स में हम जाते हैं. everything the administrative hassles, you do it on your own. Because of this too many administrative roles, we have little chance to think of growth, innovation, which is the most essential requirement for our growth. So we need to improve in our approach towards our own organization and be creative, innovative. These are the key words, creative and innovative, for our success and even for our survival. So I think we need to come out of this entire scenario of handling our own organization in the most bureaucratic way. Now, looking all to this challenges and shortcomings, what we as an IICCB can be helpful to the MSMEs. Yes, currently IICB is in its infancy state, but its formation is with the vision of filling the gap by being an intermediating between investor and an entrepreneur. See, again, mobilization of fund is not a challenge. In our organization, you will get lot many investors. There are people who want to invest in good businesses, but a bigger challenge is its utilization. And I think I'll give you a basic in this utilization. एक हमारे गुजरात में एक कम्युनिटी, आई डोंट वांट टू नेम दैट, और जनरली ये देखा गया है कि व्हेन दे अप्लाई फॉर अ लोन एंड व्हेन दे फॉर देयर ओन बिजनेस, व्हेन द लोन इज सैंक्शन, द फर्स्ट थिंग दे डू इज दे यूटिलाइज दोस फंड फॉर देयर पर्सनल नीड्स. कैपिटल एक्सपेंसेस वो सब साइड पर रह जाता है एंड यूटिलाइजेशन में फ्लॉ हो जाता है. एंड वंस यू डोंट यूटिलाइज in a proper way, I think that unit becomes a sick unit. So for my financing Muslim business houses, the roadblock is the transparency of our business. हम अपना कंट्रोल छोड़ना नहीं चाहते, हम ट्रांसपेरेंट बनना नहीं चाहते. We need to be transparent in our approach, in our businesses. Once you see, now it's a technological world, it's a high-tech world. Everybody knows everything ins and out, and whatever you are doing, you are feeling it's my business secret. But mind well, business is not rocket and science. Everybody has got an opportunity to do it. So be transparent. Once you are transparent, people are ready to support you, people are ready to fund you, people are ready to be part of your growth story also. And second important is, we don't want to lose control. Fine, yes, I also believe that we should not lose control of the enterprises, but this is not the case by being untransparent. So there are Sharia compliant products which are flexible and it looks into your capital. You avoid equity dilution. You avoid equity dilution. You don't need to. Which are compliant with all applicable. All these Sharia products are all compliant with all applicable Indian laws. And most important, the procedure itself is transparent and hassle-free formalities. Ijara is the most common, which everybody knows. Leasing, in English, it is called leasing. And Ijara is the most easiest form of transferring, where asset-based leasing of equipment, plant and machinery, commercial vehicles, you can get it, you can lease it. It is operating lease also, finance lease also, which are both Sharia compliant. And second is the Musharaka, which is a profit sharing based non-equity financing for working capital and your project funding. So we need to, for our growth, see, we can't invest only our money. We need to have to look at the other avenues, and Islam has given us a lot of many Sharia products for exports, for your expansion in your enterprises. The Musharaka would be the one of the best form of financing for your export credit facilities. For plant and machinery, Ijara could be a very, very good source. Inshallah, we at IICCB would definitely be looking at counseling and structuring your needs as per your requirements. I think that's all from my side, though I try to elaborate as much as possible, but each slide can be further, I think, elaborated in much more detail. But because of the paucity of time, we can discuss inshallah in future. Now I will be more than happy to take Q&A at the end of the webinar. Jazakallah khair for listening so patiently. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brother Talha.